Welcome to Tiki and Tierney, Dan. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Look, there's a lot going on in college football. Really going forward because of the season starting last night. Were you as surprised? I think a lot of people were with how poorly Tennessee played. It's like they couldn't get any separation. They didn't have any big plays really until the 67-yard touchdown on offense. And Appalachian State controlled this game. Or were we just discounting Appalachian State?
Yeah, I knew going in Tennessee would have to play to win the game. Appalachian State is probably the best team in the Sun Belt, very good coach, and a team that will give people problems. I mean, now I didn't expect that they were going to be so good at the point of attack. I mean, I didn't feel like Tennessee was really blocking their defensive line very well, and so there were some things there that I was surprised about, but I really did think that Tennessee would have to come to play, and they just didn't for whatever reason. I think they'll be better going forward. It obviously was not a good-looking performance or a win that they really deserve, to be honest. But they got it. I think they'll be better. It does raise some questions that people should have had all along about Tennessee. I mean, I like Joshua Dobbs. He is a nice quarterback. He's a good veteran. But he is not, and has never been, the guy that the media has hyped up in the offseason. I mean, you talk to any coaches in the SEC, I mean, they will tell you he's just a guy.
Yeah, they're not scared of him.
Not very accurate.
Yeah.
So they have some issues.
Yeah, if you can't be that guy every day, then teams aren't going to necessarily be scared of you because they know you can be inconsistent. And it brings an interesting point, though, that they played Appalachian State. And, look, I know they're very good, but they should have been, I don't want to say an easy win, but they should have been able to control that game more. Why is it better for a team like Tennessee, who's trying to climb and trying to be relevant in the college football discussion, like Houston, who's done an unbelievable job, at least last year and going forward, to schedule an easy game or do the opposite, like Houston, and schedule Oklahoma, who, obviously is a number 3 in the country and an unbelievable opponent to start the season with. But if you lose, you still have time to recover.
Well, I see both sides of it. The thing is, like, there's a little bit of difference with those. And part of the issue you have when you're a smaller program, whether you're in the Sun Belt or whether you're Houston, which is sort of not really a Power 5 team, but it's not the Sun Belt either. The issue everybody has in common is money. And, Appalachian State takes that game to Tennessee because they get a big payday.
Yeah.
Houston is playing that game not at their home stadium, but at the big stadium in Houston, the NFL stadium, for money. And, I think Houston is in this place right now where they're trying to make this long shot playoff push. Now, I don't really think they're good enough to do it, but they did win the Peach Bowl last year, and it's an opportunity for them. It's a no-lose opportunity for Houston to get a shot at Oklahoma. If they happen to win the game, all of a sudden they generate this huge momentum and excitement around their program. If they lose, they're supposed to lose.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to look at it. Dan Wolken here, a USA Today college sports writer. Let me jump to Sunday real quick with Notre Dame and Texas. We like Charlie Strong. We've had him on our show a couple times. We like what he's attempting to do, but he's got to win. Is there a chance they upset Notre Dame just because of the evolution of the program that he's bringing there, or is Notre Dame that superior?
Well, I tend to think Notre Dame is superior. I think they have better players. I think they have more mature players. Most of Texas's talent is younger, which I think does bode well for the future. But, going into year 3, he does need to show some signs of progress. The problem at Texas, and I started writing about this a year ago, and it still concerns me for Charlie Strong, is this is his 3rd year. It's going to be his 4th different play caller on offense. And I don't even know how many different philosophies they've sort of tried to implement. I mean, to me, Texas is one of those programs like Alabama, like USC, where you don't need to play like Baylor. You can recruit the kind of players at Texas to play conventionally and win. And I still think in his heart of hearts, Charlie Strong knows that's the best way to win a championship. The problem is he's gotten behind the eight ball with the fans, and they've made this change on offense to try to go totally up-tempo. They hire an Art Briles protege to run the offense, a guy who has not actually called plays since high school.
Wow.
He was a high school coach, by the way. And I don't know if they have the right kind of talent to run that system yet anyway. So I'm a little worried for what Texas is going to look like offensively, just because I don't think you change your philosophy 3 times in 3 years and have it end up in a good place.
Yeah, now, is that changed? Is it personality issues between Charlie Strong and the coordinator, or does it ring of desperation?
It's a little bit to me of desperation. I think what they've decided is that because Texas high school football is all built around that hurry up, no huddles, totally spread the field system. Basically, what happened in Texas, 10 years ago, is every high school coach imitated Art Briles and Gus Malzahn and Chad Morris and all those guys because they had so much success. So everybody in Texas now runs that system. So all the high school players grow up in that system. And so they've made the determination of Texas that that's going to be the best way to recruit and have players come in to school ready to contribute. But again, to me, if I'm running the show at Texas, I think you can recruit well enough nationally, inside and outside of Texas, to be conventional. And individual being conventional makes you different.
Yeah, are they going there? Are the kids still going to Texas? Do they consider it a viable destination for the advancement of
That's the best thing they've done there in Texas under Charlie Strong so far is recruit. And the last 2 classes, they've made a lot of progress with the level of talent. To me, they were not going to succeed on offense his first 2 years, no matter what offense they ran, because they didn't have any talent. Mac Brown let that program slip into a place where for 2 straight years, the University of Texas did not have an NFL draft pick.
Yeah.
That should not happen.
Yeah, that should never happen in Texas.
Never happen. So they have gone about recruiting the right way. I just don't know, going into year 3, how many games do they need to win to get people off his back? And, is it 8? Is it 9? Can they win that many? I'm skeptical.
Yeah, no, we're talking to Dan Wolken here, USA Today college sports writer. The Heisman Trophy race obviously kicks off as we start looking at some of these stars. Christian McCaffrey. There's actually more running backs than quarterbacks this year, which I kind of love, being a former running back. Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook from Florida State, and Deshaun Watson, who's kind of a runner, but obviously a really good quarterback as well. Who needs to have a great day to start the season in order to push themselves to the front of this race?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think any of those guys can win or lose the Heisman, the first month of the season necessarily. The issue with McCaffrey, it's interesting because a lot of people think that if he did not play games last year that started at 10 or 10:30 on the East Coast most of the time, that he probably would have won it. And you talk to coaches across the country. I mean, I think they would say if they were voting, they would pick McCaffrey because he is just he's a one-man wrecking crew in a variety of phases and ways. You get him the football, he can do everything. So I think what the issue for him is, and I'm sure he'll have another great year, but it's are people going to keep watching? And all these guys, their Heisman hopes are tied to team success.
Yeah.
In a significant way. And like Leonard Fournette last year, it was no coincidence that he went from a lock to win the Heisman to totally out of the picture the minute LSU started losing.
Yeah, no, it's a shame because all these guys are obviously great players. Some of them will play on the next level. But I like Christian McCaffrey, but you're right. I don't think I saw him play live maybe twice all season long. And it was, man,